appreciate you guys checking out my first video on creative writing and arrangement behind the drum set. Fuck yeah. So I was tasked with laying down the original groove so that the boys could work on a feel for that, because we still thought that was cool. So my original idea that I had mentioned but not actually shared in the previous video was a kick snare hat feel. It's really tight, closed hat kind of feel with some cool little ghosties dancing back and forth with the kick. So it sounded kind of like this. So notice that, I can't talk. Notice that there were two different kind of kick patterns that I was experimenting with there. I would kind of let it breathe a little bit, and then I would do some where I would fill in the gaps. You know what I mean? To give it that pickup. So those were like the two ideas that I was playing with. And Shubba-dubba-dabba-da became so I took that original voicing, and like I kind of shared on the previous video, I can do shubba-dubba-dabba-doo, and then by accident, I did shubba-dubba-dabba-doo-pat, boo-cat, goo-cat, goo-cat, goo, shubba-dubba-dabba-doo-pat. And I was like, what? Wow, that has a nice cadence to it. Like I said, I was tasked with laying down the original idea so Nick could fuck with it while I went out of town for a couple days, and I thought, shit, I might as well share that with you guys. So, again, exploring how many different ways around the kit can you voice a groove or an accent pattern, because depending on how you do that, it obviously can completely change the feel. And then once you find the right voicing, depending on how you're playing it, once you start vibing it, then you map out a BPM. Oh, well, maybe it should sit a little bit on top of the pocket, or maybe it should sit a little bit behind, you know. So this one was around 110, but if you notice, when I did the tom one, you know, I played that a little faster, and then I think in my previous post, that was more like 112, 114, thereabouts. So once you find a voicing that you like and you're shaping your groove, it's extremely important that you always have a click to kind of map out where the pocket is. Because depending on how you're doing it and what the feel and the vibe of the song you're trying to create is kind of calling for, you know, like I said, it could either be leaning on top of the pocket, or it could be a little lazier and sleepier and leaning back in the pocket, or it needs to be like stiff and like right on the pocket. These are all things that I think about when I'm shaping grooves and voicings. And yeah, just some more insight for you guys. Hope you enjoyed this one as well. Appreciate y'all watching. One last thing. So I spent all this time hashing out another groove idea. This is funny because this was one of those happy accidents. What I was playing wasn't even the original idea. I went back to another video that I had from practice, and I was like, shit, that's not what I played. It had a lot less space in it. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up, Because I wound up coming up with a few different variations for this idea that could be used. That kind of reinforces the, hey, sometimes accidents are okay and you can turn them into their own ideas, and then other ideas spawn off those ideas. And then I just went down the rabbit hole for like 40 minutes, like, well, maybe the pocket needs to be this. When I play that other beat, the cool one with the toms, it does feel like it's quicker. And that's where this gets interesting, because I tried it at all these other different BPMs, the original idea, that is, the kick, snare, hat feel, and none of them felt right. It felt sloppy. And this is a textbook example of why the metronome is so important in shaping grooves and feels. You could hear it up here, but then if you don't play it to the right BPM, to the right pocket, it won't feel pocket. This is a very cool thing to share, because then I went even further. So I'll show you now. This is the original groove that I should have fucking laid down forever ago. So it's really tight, it's really staccato, and what's cool about this is I even took it a step further to be like, I'm just going to shut the hats where I can't even open them. So it's a little easier for me to get that, really stiff staccato feel. And then I really liked, completely by accident, the way it sounded when I would fill on top of it and not crash. So check this out. So you can do these cool little guys and sneak toms in and stuff, but then no crashes, and it feels really fucking interesting and fucking dope. You get the idea. Even sneaking in the simple one, so you can evolve with it as the song goes. Arrangement. Remember, arrangement is key. Shout out to my homie Sam Pura. He really taught me a lot about arrangement. So, even the simple one, again. I've been known to take a fill like that and actually create it as part of an ostinato in a groove, which is, again, another idea that I literally just thought of, like, oh, I could do that every time maybe at some point in the song, and maybe that's cool. But even if you just do it once, clicks blasting in my ear, had to shut that off. Even if you do it once, it's like, oh shit, that's cool. And these simple fills like this can really create a personality, and you really start going down the rabbit hole of possibility, and this is how you develop your musical vocabulary. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because you would say, well, gee, Ben, like, what gave you these ideas to do that there? Well, I listened to a shit ton of Deftones, for one, and that guy is the king. Everybody knows fucking, what's it called? Fucking My Own Summer Song, and that's all he does to start it. Or whatever the fuck it is, but that's so sick, and like everyone loves that, but it is the simplest thing ever. And Abe Cunningham is one of my favorite examples of the tastefulness, the cleverness, like the musicality, you know, like this is how, as drummers, we can have the means in our drumming arsenal to navigate songs. Just wanted to sneak this bit in here because a lot of happy accidents manifested themselves this afternoon. Like I said, there's a lot of conversation going on with my previous posts, and I said, you know what, maybe I'm onto something with these, and I'm going to fucking do more of these. So there it is. Again, thank you guys for reaching out, hitting me up. Let's continue to do so. Let's do something different and weird and have a fucking conversation for once as drummers and being like, oh, this is sick. Like, did you think of this? Did you think about this? What about this? What about this? Because this is my favorite shit. You know, creation. You know, that's what this shit is all about. Let's keep the conversation going. And again, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it.